You are watching Issues at Hand on Church of Uganda Family TV. My name is Bruno Edgar Tumuheirwe. Thank you for joining us. Now, Issues at Hand is proudly brought to you by Protea Hotel Entebbe. Please make sure you make your reservation and booking today, because Protea Hotel Entebbe is the place to be. It's a Friday, the start of the weekend. You can go out with your family and relax at Protea Hotel Entebbe. You can go and pray. For those of you who have serious conferences, you can go and enjoy your conference and have a meaningful conference at their conference halls. There's a gym, there's a spa, there's so much on show when it comes to Protea Hotel Entebbe. So get that number, call, make your reservation and booking today, and trust me, you won't be disappointed, especially as a family. Now, when it comes to family, we are very, very, very serious here about family, and we are serious about protecting our children. Now, we have seen a very big problem when it comes to school fires in schools that are affecting the welfare of our children, and that is why today we have to tackle this issue. You've seen the story about Chisache Primary School. We also saw the story on Salama School of the Blind. So it's a problem that's happening in Uganda. We also saw Makerere University catch fire and other schools set ablaze, and so we want to understand this issue once and for all. Why is it continuing to happen here in Uganda, and who is responsible, and how can those who are responsible, including ourselves as parents, as teachers, as school proprietors, as government, how can we put a stop to this? And also we're going to go through fire safety measures, not just for schools by the way, but also for home in case of first and foremost, how can you prevent a fire outbreak? But even when it happens, unfortunately, God forbid, how can we ensure that lives and property are protected? Now, with me to have this conversation today is Sergeant Wausimbi Elly, and he's an officer from Fire and Rescue Services, Uganda Police. You are very welcome to Issues at Hand.
Thank you. I'm very glad to be here. I'm so honored that I'm going to talk about the field. I've seen it all, and the problems which are affecting them, and we find a way forward together, because most people think that starting school only, it's just you put students there and then you end it there, but it does not end there. I'm from Directorate of Fire Prevention and Rescue Services. That is, it is at Clock Tower. It's a department in the Uganda Police Force, and we are responsible for basically fire prevention. But if the worst comes to the worst, we normally go and fight that fire, and then we advise accordingly. We do also some trainings if you are being called for. We do sensitization, and in most cases we advise how to set up a good structure which is fire safe. In most cases, if you come to us, and then we advise you. That's the Directorate of Fire.
Indeed. Now, thank you for telling us about the mandate of the Directorate of Fire. For those of you who didn't know, yes, it is there, and as you've heard, and we are going to hear so much more how we can continue to learn from them when it comes to prevention of fire. Now, like I have said, we have seen a lot of issues, not just in schools, but in places like markets. Fire is becoming a very big problem when it comes to schools in secondary, when it comes to schools in primary, when it comes to tertiary institutions. Why is this? What is the cause of these fires? Why do they continue to happen even when we have a wonderful department like yours?
Actually, in a year, let me give you maybe a brief about fire. In a year, we normally fight more than 1,300 fires every single year. Different places, different structures. Only last year, we had almost 60 schools got burned, and more than 10 students died just last year, 2022. Other years, I'm not going to talk about them, but let me talk about recent. This year, we are just in February. So far, 3 schools have got burned. Yesterday, Chisache, there was Jack and Jill, there's another one in Kabale. So they have started again. Structures are burning. Marketplaces are burning. Different places are burning. and they have different causes. But since today we are going to talk about let me talk about the season. First of all, the season is not good. It is a dry season. Everything is dry. And most of the people, they have put up structures and they did not put in place fire safety systems. And according to the law, the Occupational Safety and Health Act, Section 60, it mandates the proprietors or the owners or the employers to put in place fire safety systems. But most people have not yet put those things. Then also, by law, the systems they have put in place, the employees must know how those systems work. So they are there. And most of the fires you see, you go there when somebody does not put anything, but is operating or is running a business or is running a facility, but when it comes to fire safety, he undermined it and is not put in place. So when the fire comes, it gets him unaware, nothing to use, and the only hope is to call fire brigade, which is not within few meters, but very far. By the time you drive from fire, wherever that person is, because at least now we have endeavored to put different fire stations at the different main roads and different regions across the country. So, like around only Kampala here, most people know only fire headquarters here, Clock Tower. But Boyogere will have a station, Natete will have a station, Nansana will have a station, Kajansi, Entebbe, around Kampala. So that if there is anything around those major roads, can respond. Even Kololo will have a station. Kololo Airstrip, there is a station which can cap that area. Kamocha, Kololo, those areas. So whenever there is emergency, at least we connect you very fast to the nearby fire station and then you come in. But coming to fight fire is not our major goal. Our major goal is to prevent as much as possible, because fire prevention is the best way to fight fire. Because by the time you want to fight the fire, it has already caused a damage, and the damage is a loss to anything. You have had so many things are burning, but when you go and try to investigate what is the cause, basically there are human errors. Human errors. Somebody, like the recent one of Kiseng, most people have invested billions and billions of money, but they did not put anything like a fire extinguisher of less than 100,000 to protect their businesses. There is no even a single fire hydrant to maybe to help them in case there is a problem. So that's the business. There has been what we call these timber yards of why it's now it caught fire. There was one of Ndeba, it caught fire. And all of those ones, there is no protection even if you go there. You're a journalist, you'll go there and find out what I'm talking about. When you reach there, talk about, do you have anything that can be used to protect this place? They will tell you, that one, we shall think about it. And when it comes to when there is a real problem, there is that blame game. Fire brigade has done this, fire brigade has done this. But for them have failed to put in place what they are supposed to do. Even the people they employ there, they don't know anything about fire safety. So in most cases, those people have neglected themselves. Sometimes when you go to them and tell them, please, I'm here to train you, to sensitize you about fire safety, we are busy. Now it is school time. You go to school. I've called different schools. I've endeavored to call different schools. We are coming to your school and we want to sensitize. We are still organizing. We shall call you. But when emergency strikes, it does not need to call or to halt that maybe we do this and this. I've tried to call the leaders of those owners of schools. They are there, like Piau. There are so many in Nansana. So I've called them. And I've not yet got any communication that come and help us here and here. But what I know, you cannot say that school fires are going to stop because of so many problems we shall talk about. And those people also, they are busy on other things. Yet we have a problem which is at hand.
Indeed, and let's go on to those problems now. Okay, first and foremost, because one of the things that frustrates Ugandans about these investigations in fire, when it comes to fire outbreaks, we never really get to hear the outcome of the investigations, because there are always rumors for some instances that there's foul play. So is it true that for some of these fires there's foul play, in that someone intentionally starts the fire with a particular motive, and if so, if not, what are other problems surrounding why fires are rampantly spreading, starting in schools especially?
Basically, reports are there for every school which catches fire, or which every facility. It's only that people don't want to pick those reports. They are there. And if you want, they are there. You come and they give you. But they cannot come and publish it that this is the report for this and this. But somebody wants to get the deeper detail of any facility. Reports are there and readily there. And in most cases, there is foul play. Most cases we call it arson. Those people, some schools are banned because of the reasons I will tell you. Last year, we got some schools were banned by Metron. Some schools are banned by students. Other schools are banned by teachers. Other schools were banned by neighbors. Some schools were banned by, somebody maybe was not paid and then decided to say cannot go alone, and the school was banned. So there are so many things. There is that problem of arson, deliberate setting of fire. Those people, in most cases, they set fire because they have their own motive. Some, they say, we were in COVID. They did not pay us and they have terminated our contracts with these schools. In most cases, you go to a school and you ask them, have you terminated some people here? Said yes. Where are they? Those people went, when they are cursing us, we see that they are the one, and indeed can find that the school was banned. Metro, they normally get some misunderstanding with administration, and they say, cannot leave this like this, and then they ban. Students, when they get there, we had the schools where the students themselves, because of watching TV, they switched off for a TV they wanted to watch these European countries, and they said, no, it's time for preps. And then they decided to ban the entire school. So some schools are banned deliberately. Others, they have not put in place anything. I have a school in those sides of Luzira. Since last year, they are advising that school to put in place to service the extinguisher they have. Up to now, they have refused. And there is no clear law that you will go as a fireman and arrest those people. Only to advise them. You cannot go there and begin, I'm arresting you because you don't have a fire extinguisher or your extinguishers. You need to first go back and then quote some laws. Then from there is no direct law that I can enforce. I cannot go to a school and then say I have a mandate to close it. I have also to consult other people who can help me to close that school. So it is becoming difficult to enforce some of these things. But in most cases, those people themselves, when you move around, they don't have anything when it comes to fire safety. Others, they have people they have employed, whom for them they think that they know. Like in most cases, there is what we call safety and security. People think that those people, you can get anybody to be in security, a relative, a sister, or whatever, and they say this person is supposed to be in security. And when it comes to safety, they have undermined it. They don't know about it. In most cases, security and safety, they are supposed to move together. And the people are supposed to be, there are some requirements, like most of the schools, there is what we call basic requirements. They normally get from Ministry of Education. Basic minimum requirements from the Ministry of Education. There is indicator number 12. They have put in place that all schools are supposed to put in place safety and security committees, but they have not put. And what is supposed to be involved there? The head teacher is supposed to be the chairperson of that committee. The students must be involved. The teachers must be involved. The security people must be involved. The matron, so that you get information. If there is anything, you always get information that there is ABC which is about to take place here, and then you intervene. You become proactive if you have that committee. But most people are reactive. So in most cases, they come in when a problem has already been has already occurred, and then they begin saying so, yet they were supposed to avert that problem before. When you use these people, you train them. You call it training is free, by the way. But you go to schools and you reach any gate, go to any school, you reach any gate, you'll find a scholar who is there, will tell you, you are going where? I'm going to director's office. Does not even register you. He'll tell you it is there, and then it remains on his phone or her phone. And
but
then if
schools, are you certain that these schools are aware that this training exists? Because for some they might be ignorant, they might be thinking there's a fee. Ignorance
has no defense. They are aware. When you start this one, when you are starting a school, what I've quoted for you, they say basic minimum requirements of Ministry of Education. Every school has it. They can even download it. It is even on Google. It is there. Every school, they are indicators. There are more than 12. But specifically indicator 12 talks about safety and security. Can you start? And you cannot start a school unless you have fulfilled that. And I don't know how they maneuver themselves and then they go ahead and start. So you find a school, they have started it, but even accessibility to that school is very difficult. I've tried to move most of the schools. We have tried to tell our people on ground nearby those schools to move around. Sensitization is free. But you go to a school and they tell you, we are busy. What can you do? And there is no clear law that I'm going to enforce it, that maybe I will arrest you. I'll first go and make a report, then I send it to the district inspector, DEO, you talk about it, time. So those things are there. Then also, some schools have been set in places where they have wrangles. The land, you have got it, the neighbors, maybe they are not rhyming with you. What will happen next? How can they eliminate you? They always set fire. Then others, they have what we call porous fences. Anywhere you can pass. So accessibility to this is not restricted. And on top of that, they have untrained personnel who are manning security and safety. So the students are there on God's mercy. But for the school, they are safe so long as we have got the money. And the worst part of it, I take it to the parents. They normally dump their children to those schools. And they don't even go to dormitories to check whether those children are going to be safe or no. They say, after all, I've paid the money, my child is in this school, and they just run away. As if they have just offloaded the problems. If the parents themselves, they task the administration that we need the ABCD, then the schools, you will never see any fire at school. But you find every school, they normally talk about development fee. There is so many, and the parents is very happy pays. But when you talk about things which can help in safety, nobody bothers. I'm challenging them, they are here on Family TV, to go to the schools where they have taken their kids and check the extinguishers, the safety measures, and the security where they have put their children. And they will call you, and then they say, really, it is true. That's what's happened. So if any problem strikes, they will begin to say, fire brigade has come late, fire brigade has done it. But before fire brigade comes, what is your responsibility? Let us not be reactive, let us be proactive. That's the way forward. That's how we can help these ones. Then, we have been rolling around these zones and up country, trying to tell the owners now, because when anything happens, the backfire goes to the owner of the school. There is an association called the PIAO. They invited us and we've been talking to these owners of the schools to put in place those things. The teachers, when we got them, they normally say, these people have not put, our bosses have not put in place these things. Now we talk to them. And we emphasize that fires will always be there when you are not prepared. Because causes of fire, not only arson, there is also electricity. There is also lightning. There are so many other things. Somebody can be burning rubbish and you have left the dormitory open, and is what we call those flying fires. The wind blows it in and finds those mosquito nets which are hanging on those beds. It burns like fuel. The way they have organized these dormitories are really very bad. In most cases, the ministry is saying double deck. When you go to school right now, it is a trip and above. The corridors, the gangways, they are overcrowded. And if anything happens, it is nothing you can save. Remember, there are mattresses, there are mosquito nets. And they have hung them on those wooden timber. In most cases, even in corridors where to pass, you cannot. You first turn yourself, you do this, you do this. So, the housekeeping in those dormitories is totally very bad in most of the schools. What they do, they don't allow anybody to go there. And they tell you, because of security reasons, you are not allowed to go there. You ask yourself why? Because there is something which is wrong. Go to any school. If you find only double decker, I bet you will never find it there. Triple. And the minister told them no. Because if there is emergency, how will you jump from the third one then down? That is a bigger problem. When you look at the dormitory settings, they put them like holes. If there is a problem in one corner, the entire hole will go. Yet they are supposed to put what we call the partition. So that if there is a problem in one corner, then it does not spread very fast. You can rescue other, but in most cases, go to the window settings. They are supposed not to put burglar proof, more so this one which are not high-rised. They are not supposed to put, even if high-rised. But everywhere, for them they say security surpasses safety. And they put burglar proof everywhere. If a problem strikes, it's even difficult to rescue these ones. It is there. The way they have organized those dormitories, they have put these boxes, and somebody brings a box. You find a child of P4 is having a box as if has brought everything from home. You ask yourself, for what? Some schools have allowed the students to bring things which are necessary, different clothes for changing, different whatever. Some have tried to change to put only what we call these casual wears. At least have reduced the fire load. But you find somebody is having a box which is almost 3 by 4, and you ask, what is inside there? 30 clothes and some eatables, some whatever. So for what? All that is the fire load. You go to dormitory, you find jerry cans, Bensons, everywhere. And if a problem strikes, you find that those are all fire, those are things that can burn easily. So that's it.
Indeed, and that's a very big issue when it comes to schools. Now, take us through the guidelines as prescribed by Ministry of Education and Uganda Police when it comes to schools being adequately equipped and secured in terms of preventing a fire outbreak.
In most cases, you must set up what we call a safety committee, security and safety committee, which includes the people I told you that from the head teacher, people in security, matron, the students, even if it's a baby class, include him. In security, we deal much with information. Somebody will bring information in a joking way. It is you. They have told the information to find out whether it is true or it's false. So, but information is very important. Get the information from those kids, it will help you to know how to prevent these fires. But If you neglect them, there are people who normally may be like the workers. They normally get misunderstanding with administration. If you don't have some connection in between there where you can get information, somebody can say, I'll do something before I go, and for you neglect it. But if you get information, so is planning, because always there will be somebody to tell you. But for you have seen here, no, how many who normally talk like that. But if you have such information, don't take it lightly. Always call that person, reconcile. If there is room for reconciliation, you reconcile, and then the school will move on properly. On that safety committee and security committee, also include the neighbors, the people surrounding that area. They will give you information outside the school. Then also, the people are responsible, don't put anybody. Then also, contact the nearby police. When they are making their patrol, they bypass that school at least. Once in a while, somebody who is planning to do something, will let them make what we call snap checks. You tell also of that area, when you get time at weird hour, maybe at 2, and you are making your patrols, bypass my school and find out whether my people are what? Alert. Then people advise also to put in place these cameras. When you put these cameras, don't put them in the director's office for post-mortem. Most of the schools have put cameras for post-mortem. Let us find out how did it happen. That is very wrong. Put cameras and put somebody to monitor. If there is anything, then somebody will alert the security people that I'm seeing something here. But some people have installed the cameras, put them on their phones. For them they are safe. They don't know how to use them. They use them. Let us see. Before this one happened, who was here? What happened? That is post-mortem. It will never help you. Use them before, during, and after. It will help you. Then also, on top of that, always employ people in security who are trained. If you have not trained them and you trust them, call us, we shall train them for free. The matrons must train them about how to handle the children and how to handle these fire emergencies. In case there is a problem, how do we evacuate? How do they evacuate these kids from the building? Like yesterday, Kisaki, it happened during the day. And it was a big problem how to evacuate those students not to collapse or not to die. What kills in most fires is smoke. By the time fire comes, it summarizes the body. Then also, every school, they must put what we call a fence. Even if this live fence, and you gazette only the areas where people must pass, so that you eliminate or you reduce the movement of people from different directions. It will help you. Then also, these people at the gate, they must be given a book to register anybody who enters, and at what time has he entered and where is he going. Then also avail those people with airtime to call you before that person is somebody who wants you. Can you allow? Not just say it is there, even if it's a parent, for security purposes. Some people have there with their ill motives, and then they come to school to survey these people. How are they prepared? What are they during the weird hours? Where these other people, in most cases they go for preps and they leave dormitories, nobody's there. So they must install what we call motion sensors when you are not around. You are like now, you are in classes, but who's there? Nobody. The matron is busy maybe doing other things. But if you activate the motion sensors, connect them to the alarming system. Anybody who passes there, anything which passes there, the alarm system will trigger on and then it will alert. That will help you to avert so many problems and nobody will pass there. And also, on top of that, they must put also different committees for reconciling different problems or solving students' problems. If there is a problem with students, don't just rush. Listen to them and devise means than maybe being harsh to them. They will come up with their own measures, how to also to punish you. It is there. It has been different schools. Even some schools are burnt and some students died. because of some administrative errors. Things were supposed to be handled properly, and then for them they decided to use a lot of force. They end up, these people are triggering their anger, and then they banned the school, which led to the deaths of other students. So that one is also there. Then also, in every school must have what we call emergency action plan. What to do in case of fire, what to do first and what to do last. On top of that, every school must have fire safety systems in every dormitory. And they must know how to use them. Then also the students must be also trained on how to use them. Even if they are young, you tell them, we use them like this so that they don't spoil them. Because if you don't train them, they will always have that curiosity. They want to see what is inside here.
But actually on that, isn't there, because you spoke of babies as well, but isn't there a limit to the age that you should train in terms of children? Because, and I know they are part of security, but will they adequately understand what needs to be done in case of a fire outbreak?
Yes, in most cases, when you are training those infants, you train them on evacuation, you train them where things that can help them, you train them even how that equipment works. The reason in most cases those people said, don't train them, leave them. They go there and remove, they spoil them. They want to find out what is there. So, but if you tell them it works like this, it is for this purpose only. And if there is emergency, don't use it because it is very heavy, you cannot handle it. Always direct somebody that is extinguisher in this corner, because for them every day they will be seeing it. And they will direct anybody that it is there, and then they will use it. Anybody can use it. But if you just say, no, these are very high, I cannot train them, by the time you want to use them when it is emergency, they are not working. Reason, these people, they use them when you are not there, and they want to find out what is inside there. So in most cases, we train them to avert the problem that they will misuse them, and then when there is a problem. But basically, when you are training infants, we train them how to evacuate. Immediately when they see you are alert, you go out. You don't need anything else, don't even look behind. You just move where? Out. So we train them on that. Fire safety, we train. There is no age that this one we can, so long as can talk and is at school, we train.
Indeed, and we have been talking about how to be adequately equipped, some of the guidelines we can follow when it comes to preventing fire in schools. But then, after this quick breather, we are going to go into what happens when there's the outbreak of the fire then. What can we do to ensure that lives and property is saved? But we're also going to get into more of what we need to focus on when it comes to this big issue of fires in school. What police is doing to ensure that the numbers reduce or even are wiped off, because we want our children to be safe. So we want our children and our family members in effect to be safe. Now we're taking through the guidelines of precaution and how to prevent fires. We've been talking about, our guests took us through committees, ensuring that we are well equipped at schools, and we have the right mindset, and that we train the students to ensure that they know how to prevent fires. But, and God forbid, what happens then when a fire ensues? What do we do to ensure that there are no casualties, especially when it comes to human life, and that the fires are quickly put out? This is what we are starting with following this quick breather. Now, with me, for those of you who have just joined to tackle this issue, is Sergeant Wausimbi Elly, who is an officer from the Directorate of Fire and Prevention Services when it comes to Uganda Police. Now, I put this question to you. If a fire outbreak has ensued, how then can we ensure that lives are safe, no lives are lost, and that we rescue as much property as possible?
In most cases, there is also what we call, there are things you have to put in place before, when you are setting up a school. One is accessibility. It's one of the guidelines I talked about. There must be well demarcated roads towards that school, so that if there is an emergency, external interventionists can access the school. Two, the school itself, it must be designed the way that there is what we call emergency action plan. If there is emergency, where do they evacuate the children? So there is supposed to be what we call assembly point, where you gather all the children. When you remove them from the place of danger to the place of safety, it must also be there. Every school must have what we call the first line of defense firefighting equipment, like fire extinguishers, at least minimum 5. And there must be a board for all contacts of people who can help, starting with the director of the school, headmaster, the LOC around, the also of that area, fire brigade numbers, the numbers which can help you in case there is emergency. There must be a display board. It must also be there. 2, there must also be, these people must also be trained, the security people. It's very important. In case of emergency, there are the people on the ground, and also there are people who controls accessibility
to the school.
Mm-hmm. So if there is now emergency, and these people are trained, fire extinguishers are there, the first safety first of the students and everybody at large. So in most cases, what they are supposed to do to evacuate the students, when they realize that everybody has come, or even if fire is going on, but the first is the safety of the students and put them in a safe place. And somebody must be talking to them to avoid those who can collapse. You know, some people can say problem and collapse and can pass from there and then dies. You have seen it. Immediately sees something which is terrible, he blacks out. And if you don't handle that person very well, you can be a victim of the circumstance. So in most cases, take them to a safe place, let somebody talk to them. Then other people can swing in action to put off the fire, so long as they know how to use the fire fighting equipments. Because these portable fire extinguishers are not, when you have them, does not mean that you are fire safe. No. We call them first aid firefighting equipments. It's for only first aid fires which you can even blow off. That's when you use those fire extinguishers. But when you find that 3/4 of the dormitory have been consumed by fire, please don't use them, because you are also going to get a problem, because you are safety first. So when you do that, everybody is out. Call in the process, even if the fire you can put it off, call a fire brigade. We have a number which is toll free, like a 0800 121 222. That number is there. You call in any part of this country, it can assist.
Actually, on that, some sections of the public have been complaining about the slow response by the fire brigade when it comes to putting out fires. Especially, this is something that was spoken about during the fire outbreak at Salama School for the Blind. There were some who were saying that the police delayed to get to the scene. How as police can we ensure what is the problem? Why is there a slow response in terms of getting to the place where the fire outbreak has happened? And 2, how can police ensure that they get there quicker? In
most cases, when you call late, they reach there late. There is no way somebody calls you late and reach there early. Those are the impossibilities. In most cases, you ask them, like the school of the blind.
But late is just
the moment you delay. The moment you delay,
you're already late.
No.
So you just have to call immediately when the fire started.
No, it is like this. The moment you delay 1 minute to call a fire brigade, fire can consume a 5-roomed house in 3 minutes. Imagine, in most cases, what they normally do, they first fidget around. We can handle. Let's chase this one, let's do this. By the time somebody remembers that, let me call external interventions, it is already, the time has already gone, almost 1 hour is gone. By the time you drive from where you are to where there is a problem, like that school of the blind, it is not near. From Mukono, by then Mukono responded. From Mukono to reach that very school, it is very far. And by the time they called, everything had already gone. That is the fact. So there was no way. People were still saving, people were still trying, and that school had not even a single equipment. And the worst part of it, most of the people were blind, including the headmaster. So those who were there, the matron and whatever, tried what they can, but that goes back to what I told you, the display board. The display board helps these other people who have come to rescue to call the immediate assistance they can get in the nearby area, of which it is not there. In most cases, they normally say fire brigade comes late. It comes late because you don't call them direct. Like the number I have just given you, 0800-121-222. If you call, it will go direct to fire brigade headquarters. But if you first call a friend who knows a police officer who knows the fire brigade, that bureaucracy, by the time the right information reaches fire brigade, the time has already gone. Then you drive. By the time also you drive to reach there, you are not going to knock people's vehicles and destroy people's things because you are going to for emergency. In Uganda, we don't have a clear route or clear way for emergency vehicles. You have to follow the queue. Sometimes people normally tell you jump. They do like this. You are going to rescue and somebody tells you jump if you want. What are you going to do? You have some time to follow and then you go. And that's time. Every emergency, the moment you delay any minute, you are causing a very big loss, and the blame will always go to you, the one they have called. You have not reached that level where maybe everything's there. Like if those who have some equipments, like every school is supposed to have its own hydrant, fire hydrant. You collect water from these roofs of different dormitories, you collect it and keep it somewhere. You connect pipes and install your own fire hydrant. In case emergency comes, you just connect. Every dormitory must have what we call the sprinkling system. Go to any school. I dare you to get any. It is not there. So that if there is emergency, you just put it on, or it is automatic, it puts on by itself. It is not there. They depend on somebody who will drive from wherever it is to come. Obviously, there will be a blame game. So it's not all about that they come late, but also they call them very late. But what do we want? Or what can we do to stop that blame game? One, let us work hand in hand. How? Before there is emergency, call me. Why do you want me to call me every time when there is emergency? Call me to advise you. Call me to come to school and sensitize, because it is my responsibility to sensitize those students and the staff for free. Imagine. Then also call me at any time. You do what we call emergency drill. You are here, go to school and ask them, do you know anything called a fire drill? They will tell you what is there. What is its importance. Even if you go to the university, Makerere, they will tell you, that one, we don't know it. Yet it's very important. It prepares people's mind that if there is emergency, this is what you are supposed to do. You are supposed to go here, supposed to go here. If we don't do that, if there is emergency, everybody will do his own things. And by the time you realize there is a problem, you are going to blame anybody. So, what are we supposed to do? One, let us work as a team. You have a school, call us to advise you. The doors are not supposed to open inward like that one. No, they're supposed to open outward. Reason, the first person who touches that door will go with it. But most of the dormitories' doors are opening inward. That is a barrier when it comes to emergency. You find a dormitory, there is only one exit, enter and one. So they did not consider any emergency action plan. They don't put in place anything that can help them in emergency. So all those when we can assist you and advise you. In case there is emergency, how do we organize these dormitories? Also, we can advise that these boxes, the so-called suitcase where they keep books and other things, they are not supposed to be in these corridors. They're supposed to be in every bed. If you have your box, put it on your bed. The main way only you put your legs and your other parts of the body. So that when there is emergency, there is a free, these ways, the gangways you have left in the corridors, must be free from anything. So that if somebody is running, there is a problem, it just takes off and goes out. Because we said safety first. Nobody will blame each other. By the time I want to reach the school and say, there was a fire there, but we managed it. Not to say, it is still there, you help me here. No. Let us work hand in hand. It will help than blaming me. Fire brigade came late, you came without water, you did this. It is not going to assist. What will assist is me to come before fire, and then we do something.
And on the issue of water and fire hydrants, very quickly, I know this was not a school, but one of the challenges we saw with Kisenyi Market, the fire that happened there, is that because of the lack of a fire hydrant, now the fire brigade that was on the scene had to, they used the water that they had in the car, and then when they in the truck, and then they had to return for more water. Is there a quicker way or a more feasible way fire brigade can have enough for those places that don't have fire hydrants or water sources, where you can fire brigade can come with sufficient resources in terms of water to put out fires?
There is no place where you cannot get sufficient water. It is not there. One, you can tap water for this rainwater and get reservoirs. You can buy tanks. You can dig these whatever underground tanks and then collect all the water which is there and reserve it for any emergency. But most people think only when they put up like a facility and they just undermine. If like business places, those commercial places like Kisenyi, it is very easy. Just write to National Water that we need a hydrant here. Before the day goes, the hydrant will be there. But nobody bothers. Then also they come to fire brigade. If they have a hydrant there, they say, we have put a hydrant here. What is the use? How are we going to use it? It is our mandate to tell them how to use that hydrant and to facilitate them, to give them these delivery horses, branches, and other things that can help them before we reach there. And if emergency strikes,
is that for free?
It's for free. It is there. You come to fire brigade and you say, you have this and this, can you assist us on this? The director fire, you talk to them. There are so many people. And then the moment you talk to director, he's even now in the office. You go there and talk to him, we need ABCD. It is our mandate to save the lives of people and their property. But in hand with them, not that I will be there when your property is there, but when you are there, let us work as a team. If we don't cooperate, there is nothing we can do. That is the fact. There is nowhere to be like, and that I'll know, maybe there is a fire at this place, then I rush there. And I cannot go there before the fire. The system you have is not so digital that I can see where the emergency is and then you go there. I always depend on the information I normally get from the ground. So in most cases, things are there to assist. If somebody is organized, say you people have bought 5 extinguishers and it is a busy place like a market, fire brigade assisting you is at least 2 extinguishers. They will give you if you come to the office. But nobody has bothered that. Training, we are here. You just tell me, well, you see me and this is such a day, I need a training at this time. I will be there. And that's how we can avert. Let us base much on fire prevention than firefighting. Because the best way to fight fire is to prevent it.
Indeed, prevention is better than cure. Now, yes. Unfortunately, we're going to have to end the conversation here because of time. I know we have so much more that we can talk about concerning fire, but once again, you can give us that toll-free number so that we can, for those who find themselves in that unfortunate situation, especially school fires, can give a call and get their issue addressed.
It is 0800 121 I repeat it. It is 0800. You can write it there. 0800 121222. That number is totally free. When you call, it goes direct to fire headquarters. When you want these ones for fire training, maybe you want to for fire sensitization, you want to train your people, you can call me direct. There's no problem. Anytime you call me, it is 0752 70 76 29. That is Wausimbi. Anytime you call me, because that line it's for emergency. You call me when there is emergency, and then I respond. When there is training, you call me. But most cases also will have to call us when there is an emergency. We come to you and we chat, we advise you, and then life will move on properly. It will make our work very easy and your work very easy. A safe environment it is everyone's right, and we are crying or we are praying so that everybody is supposed to be safe, and we wish them to be very safe.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Sergeant, for taking us through fire prevention measures, and for telling us that it's our responsibility as a family, parents, children, school proprietors, everyone is a stakeholder in this. If we are vigilant, if we know the proper guidelines to put in place, if we have the equipment, if we follow the guidelines that have been given to us by Fire Brigade and by Ministry of Education, then we shall ensure that our children are safe and that we are safe as well, because fire does not only affect schools, but it affects businesses and homes as well. So let's be safe and let's ensure that we prevent fire in any environment. Thank you for joining us on Issues at Hand this Friday. We shall return on Monday. For now, ciao, have a blessed weekend, and God richly bless you.